Yo, what is up, ladies and gentlemen? It is your boy JDiesel out here with the next episode of Under the Radar. Here with Master FloKey himself and our special guest of honor, Hypnotiik. Take it away, Master FloKey. What do we got tonight?
What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? So tonight, we have, like J Diesel said, we have a very special guest. He is hailing from Massachusetts. Uh, Probably one of the better Piccolo players under the radar. People talk about Hook and Beneath and a bunch of other Piccolo players, but there's a few diamonds in the rough in the entire country. I remember he got top 12 over at ECT and has been one of the kingpins of Massachusetts Dragon Ball. Thank you for coming on, Hypnotiik.
What's going on,
Absolutely.
guys?
Welcome, my man.
Yep.
So, yeah.
All right. So jumping into a little bit, Hypnotiik, why don't you tell, because, some people have heard of you, some people haven't. Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself, your background, maybe a little bit about your scene?
Well, I am 18 years old, I guess. I currently live in Boston. I'm actually pretty new to the FGC scene, or the offline scene, I should say. My first ever attending a local, like, offline was in March of last year, so it's about to be like a year in the Massachusetts scene, so that's pretty lit. And I've been playing, like, competitively in Injustice 2 and NRS games for a while now, so I'm not that new in that aspect, but in offline, yeah.
That's really interesting. It's only been a
Yeah.
year, and you're
Yeah.
only 18.
Mhm.
God damn, that's awesome. Um, so you said you're competing in NRS game. You were playing NRS games, but was there anything you played before that, prior to, or just Justice Two?
Well, it was Injustice 2 when I started doing online tournaments and stuff, like, seriously. But then MKX, I was just like playing ranked, doing whatever.
Sounds about
And I
right.
played a little bit of Street Fighter 4, but I was the same, just ranked and whatever.
I feel that, like, I was. It's a really funny story. I ended up playing Street Fighter 4, kind of on that topic, real quick. I played Street Fighter 4 at my local the other day, and it was so weird playing that game after like not touching that game for like a couple years and actually like doing combos. It's weird.
Mm.
Definitely weird. So tell the people a little bit about your about the scene over in Mass, because I personally know a few of the folks over there.
Mhm.
Lucky D, who runs the traveling controller, and a bunch of other guys. Talk to us about the scene a little bit over in Mass.
Well, I guess I'll start right in the city, the heart, Boston. Boston has a FGC scene at Balance Patch, which is like the site right there. It's a computer store where you can go and like rent a computer or like play PC games and whatnot. But in the back, there's an FGC section, and the venue is really good. There's like a little cafe. You can buy food or whatever, but they host like a variety of games. You got like Pokken that was there. You have Tekken people. You have the all like the anime games to the left, Street Fighter in the back, and then Dragon Ball. It's like really just all jam packed in that one room. The venue is like way bigger than NLBC. If you ever went to NLBC before, it's
Look,
way
Mhm.
bigger.
so like a
Um,
solid size venue.
yeah, it's solid, and it's they have like a sound booth for PC in the back, but they you can project above it, so you can get some stream time. They have a cool stream setup, so it's a pretty good scene so far.
That's insane. I
Yeah.
it reminds me of I went to a Waypoint in New York, and it kind of like,
Mm,
from what you were telling me, it's like it looks double that, because when I went over there was like a little spot for a sound booth in there for the stream. So that's really awesome that
yeah.
Boston and then Lucky D's holding it down for for the Balance Patch boys and stuff like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
I see he posts patch notes every week, and I just think it's the funniest thing. Like every time I
Yeah, that.
see it, I'm like, the play on words is so perfect.
Wait, there's like actual he actually puts out like notes each week.
Yeah, he does.
That's
Like,
okay.
Yeah.
That's actually amazing.
yeah, has like a
Yeah, Lucky D's a beast.
yeah. I've known him for a long time. His Dawson, I think he's playing Cammy or Dawson now. I think he's still playing Dawson.
Nah, he's still, yeah, he's still with his Dawson game. That's his
Oh,
character, from what I see.
Yeah, I remember his Dawson from Street Fighter 4.
You having
So
flashbacks, Floki?
a little
A
bit,
little bit, little nostalgia right there.
a little bit. It's good nostalgia though. So talking about the scene specifically, like how is the player base for Dragon Ball? Like, what would you say?
Um,
Like, are you guys? Because from what I've been reading, it's like you guys are constantly on Discord grinding, constantly in-house grinding with the boys over in Boston. Um, how like how is your like scene like developing like since season one?
well, that's well, what you said is kind of not the complete opposite, but it's actually a little bit of the opposite. For the Dragon Balls, our locals kind of struggle to get 10-man tournaments, sometimes 12. Usually we hover around 8 to 10 if we can get 8 for like a full 8-man bracket.
Right,
But we're trying to like work on that, and we've been doing casual nights where there's no tournaments, but people can come out for casuals. Those have been successful, and it seems to me that I've made the conclusion that people will come out to those casual nights to learn, but when it comes to the actual tournament player and something like that, people don't come out for that.
right. Are you?
So,
Yeah, that's. Are you guys
so
also?
it's
Because I know you guys run monthlies. Is that the same problem
yeah.
with your monthlies?
Um, well, in general, the DBC in terms of like manpower or player base has kind of declined for the tournaments. The monthlies was just more of the same. Like before, like I guess like if you say 6 months ago, we used to get like 20-man monthlies, pretty good. But now we get like maybe 12 or 14 for the monthlies. So it's just been like an overall decline, and it's just been I guess the same players coming out, but I wish more of the newer players or the players they know that could get better would come out more.
I agree with
And
that.
and I feel like the I mean you say that we're grinding and we're motivated to get better, but in my eyes, that's actually kind of like half true because during those casual nights I would help people, help people, tell them what to do, tell them what, but it seems like it just doesn't resonate within them and
Right.
kind of like they take it to heart. It kind of seems like week after week, I'm just gonna like I go in Fridays or whatever it's when we have our locals, and I just win it every week, win the monthlies every month or whatever. Because it just seems like people just do the same thing over and over, and the things that I say or that they get from the casual nights, it just does not resonate with them. So it seems that just more the same.
Right.
So is there a lot of is it kind of like a lot of stagnation among people in terms of like for the people who are coming out? Are people making gains or is there kind of a plateau right now? Are people kind of hitting that wall?
Well, recently, yeah, there's been some games with some players. Asian Tom's been getting better. He's a Ginyu Nap, I think Vegeta player. He's been getting pretty good with his team. There's a kid named Young Fish. He's been getting pretty good, but he needs to work on his execution and his nervousness on stage when he's on stream or even in like in an important match. He drops a lot of stuff. I keep telling him focus on execution, his combos, finishing his play and stuff like that. So I mean, there's like I guess signs of life, but there's no real in-house grind like you said. We don't have like sessions like in our SF5 community.
Right.
They host I don't know if you've seen Drake, and he hosts
Yeah. I see.
sessions with like some of the best players, and he has another session with someone like the up and coming growing players, and he streams that, gets feedback, he like gives them food or whatever, like it's just a nice grind session. I know Lucky D, he hosts Wednesday night sessions for SF5. So the SF5 community gets like 20 people a night, so that's not only like good money but good motivation to grind, and get better.
Right.
So
Oh,
that's pretty good. We
yeah.
just don't have that in the DBZs.
Yeah. The only reason why I said you guys were hungry is because like I see like constantly because I know I'm in the Discord for
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
the NE scene and I see like you Volcanic Akuma, Nick 95 like all these mass boys like grinding it out because I know you guys have Bounce Patch and then you guys have GU
Mm.
over in mass so I'm kind of shocked to
For
make
for
that difference.
Yeah, for the GU scene, I actually don't go to that scene because that's a little bit far away from me. And it's on a Monday, so it's like
Oh, that sucks.
but they have, I guess it's fewer people than um the balance patch local, but I guess it's just more of the same there. And I went outside of Boston for a monthly tournament, and I seen some new faces, new people I never seen before, but it was, I guess I should just say, it was just free for me.
Right. Now, now remember the
Like no
first time you came to Connecticut was for Retro Rumble because of
oh yeah,
yeah, because that's when we met. And
yeah, yeah, yeah,
I think then too it was kind of not the more of the same, but it's like we noticed that like it's hard to have a grinding scene when there's not a lot of people supporting it. But
yeah.
from the looks of it, there is a few people from what you said, there's a lot of like up and coming players inside your scene that like you're
Hmm.
giving advice to and you're making them maybe potentially hungry for something later on, in terms of trying to develop themselves as a player. I think
Hmm.
you trying to be that teacher for them is like huge because I can relate to that. Trying to do the
Yeah,
same thing over in Connecticut, where I'm like sitting down with people and I'm like, hey, like maybe work on this, and people give me advice too. So it's kind of like
yeah,
a
yeah, yeah,
rotation of all that. So it's like that's why the only reason why I bring up that you guys are like a hungry scene because you guys are like working all like the few people that are doing it are all like almost working together. That's like in a scene like that, like it's super small. It's so important,
yeah, yeah, definitely.
especially when you
It's
guys
like
travel.
sometimes it's just like the little things that matter. Like even if it's just like even if you can't play that much or as much as I do or whatever, just like focusing on like a little bit like combo or something, or like maybe I'm gonna work on my sparking stuff, or I'm gonna work on not dropping combos, or like even what I do, like sometimes when I play I do a Goichi challenge when I'm low health with a character. I'll be like, I'm not gonna tag, I'm not gonna spark or do anything until my opponent resets as neutral or I take a dragon rush. So then
Ooh,
I just improve a defense like that. And then
that's interesting.
it's like more of like not changing your teams as much too, because I noticed a lot of people and I've seen change teams like boom boom next week new team is like you need to work on the fundamentals with you need to learn your base team first before you can
Very
apply
interesting.
that to any other team you play. You need to like learn the game first before, you know.
I think it's actually a really really good point because I've seen this with a lot of different players where they get so hung up on this idea that their team is the element that's holding them back. Even if they're playing a high tier team, they'll go, that this just isn't the team for me. And that can be the case. There are sometimes you play characters that just don't jive with the way your play style, right? If you're really aggressive, you probably don't want to sit there with the character who throws a lot of counters. That's probably not a good matchup for you personally.
Hmm.
However,
Hmm.
when you're constantly switching teams all the time, you're never developing anything past surface level for those characters.
Right.
And when you start playing
Hmm.
against better and better players who know the ins and outs of their characters, you're really going to
Yeah.
start feeling the heat when you don't know all the possibilities that your character has, especially when some characters don't even have massive kits. If you aren't even going to the
Exactly.
bottom of your kit, I mean, you're really not stretching all the value you can out of your team.
100%.
Mm,
I definitely agree with
exactly.
that.
It's like
Uh, yeah.
a dude in my scene named Pete the Monster. He uses a team with Blue Goku, Goku Black, and Frieza. Like that's a weird team, and it's not meta at all. But he knows it well, and he plays neutral with it well. He takes games off me sometimes in like best of five sets and like winners final, grand finals, and whatnot. And also another dude named Kevin Tech who uses a team like Hit, Trunks, and Broly. Like what? That's a weird team, not meta at all. But he makes it work because his neutrals are like amazing too. He's one of the few players too. Him, Kevin Tech, and I think P who really I'm surprised at how good their neutral is in this game.
100%. So would you say that like so based on what I'm hearing is like Massachusetts like the scene now like besides like the meta teams
Hmm.
I feel like Mass is like the scene that has like the really obscure teams.
Yes, for I should say probably a majority of the players. Yes, there's a couple people who use meta teams on like Volcanic Akuma, Ham Bam, and Pumper Jim and Nick. Those players definitely opt for the top tier meta teams. Yeah,
Right.
they'll switch
Wow.
and yeah.
That's interesting to hear because a lot of like I know a lot of different states that we've talked to so far. Um, they've had like varying team pools to almost similar team pools. So
Hmm.
it's like
Hmm.
it's interesting to hear that people are trying out different teams and like trying out what works and what doesn't work for them. Um, kind of segueing a bit, you've made a specific character work in your arsenal over season one and into season two. What is your current team at the moment?
My current team is Cell first, Piccolo second, and then Super Saiyan Goku last. I swapped Tien out for Goku ever since the end of season one patch or whatever.
Yeah, I agree with that decision. Oof.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Tien dit. Tien is
Yeah,
dit.
Tien with the double super nerf, it just seems kind of useless to use him, even though his assist is amazing and he has a 2L. Him by himself is really good, huge damage output with the level 3 or Chaozu. It's just you just get more out of Goku assist, way
Right.
more.
Um, so the shell that you've kind of like branched from season one to now is Cell
Hmm.
Piccolo. Is there any reason why you kind of kept Cell Piccolo, or is there like a personal connection to the characters? Um,
Well, Cell is like my point character. I don't. I've always used. I like him. I'm just so familiar with Cell. His ranges with the 5M or 2M, like what he can do, what I can TOD with, when I can TOD. Like I've learned so many TODs, adjusted them for like whatever team I'm using or what like situation that I just kept him. And he plays neutral well. He has good air buttons, good
Very
ground
much,
buttons.
yeah.
very good buttons
Yeah.
overall.
So it's kind of like the Fenridi effect, where like I'm just so accustomed to that, I just don't want to change.
You want to you like being able to turn any touch into a kill, just having
Yeah,
that sort of capability.
yeah.
Yeah.
I
So
can definitely respect that.
yeah. So what about Piccolo? Why the
Well,
green one?
Piccolo.
Why the second
I've
green
been
man?
playing Piccolo since the release, so I'm I already got the fundamentals, everything for him, and he works well with Cell. Like if I get a kill with Cell and then swap to Piccolo or whatever, then I have two beam assists with Goku now. I can loop with Goku now, so that's even more,
Yeah.
and it's just all around good. Piccolo's meta now. Oh,
See,
he's always been, I guess.
it's weird to think about, right? Because there was
Yeah,
because I remember like at the beginning of the game, right? There was only a handful of people. Because I know I was playing Piccolo at the rip.
yeah, yeah.
There was like
Hmm.
you, me, like Hook still playing him, Benito still playing him,
Yep.
and then like it's weird to think about now. So season two, right? Because season one, like the latter half of season two, season one, Piccolo was more of a problem
Hmm.
in terms of Hellzone loops and of that things of that nature. The fact that he can with one bar like make the screen almost go white for the most part, like you
Yeah.
can't physically see. And they had to change that a number of times. Um,
It's still
because
not
of
fixed. I don't care what the patch notes say. It's still
I
not
mean,
fixed.
and people like Hook and yourself and Beneath and Paka at the time that you guys were putting Pickle on the map. Um, so where do you see Piccolo right now in terms of season two?
Well, Piccolo right now, I feel like he stayed in the same place. Um, every loop or vortex that existed before the patch still exists, but it's just less effective because of the meter nerf.
Mm,
And I guess Piccolo got nerfed probably a little more because if you're like a decent or good player, you know that if I have two bars and I do Hellzone Grenade, you can just take the Hellzone instead of taking the mix. So then I would have to be forced to either snap back, use the last bar, and I have no more meter, no more loops and whatnot.
right,
So it's more of a fuzzy meta. That's why I'm kind of like tuning my fuzzies now, or like making sure I do them and learn them,
right,
especially the universal ones. So
yeah,
it's more fuzzy oriented.
I was gonna ask. I mean, obviously, if, for those of you who haven't seen the Twitter video, air fuzzies are in, and I
Yeah.
really recommend learning them. FloKey, what are your thoughts on the newly introduced air fuzzies?
So I'm gonna be real. Did not do any ground fuzzies at all. Like
Okay.
I was kind of like I never like took the time to learn them. I think they're I know they're in every single anime game and like general
Yep.
fighting game. I think
Mhm.
they are the wackest thing.
You think fuzzies are whack?
I think fuzzies are whack. I think
Okay.
fuzzies are whack.
All right, that's fair.
But like with these air fuzzies, right? They're universal. I know that at some points you can double jump. There's been a couple videos that were put up. And I know like a couple players like Charles Vegito, Coach Steve, they were talking to me about it's like, man, you're just overreacting. I'm like, listen, like if this is gonna become a meta where you just snap the person out and then you just air fuzzy 50-50, like the game is gonna get stagnant quicker.
Yeah.
So that's my one issue that I have with it. I mean, I get it's a piece of the arsenal, but at the same time, it's like if it's so good, like why not just do that over like some elaborate other mix-up you thought of?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah,
what's your take on it?
Hypnotiik. I was gonna say, kick it to you. What do you think?
Well, to bring up a point Nakio said, he said ever since the guard cancel nerf, the game's gonna be um, more like one-sided, more of the same, just block strings until you get a snap. So it's gonna be like simple pressure staggers instead of like unique attacks or special attacks that each character can do. And because of the guard cancel nerf, you're gonna see more of the snapback meta, which like the community complained about, but there's nothing you can do now because that's what meta is now. That's what people are gonna do to open you up. So it's my first time dealing with fuzzies too in like a game, so it's pretty interesting. I don't know how I feel about it yet, but it's like I have to block. It's either I guess or I die.
I mean, I think you eloquently summed up kind of how I think the last few months. I think even before we hit the patch, you guess or you die. I mean, that's what Hellzone
Yeah.
Mix was. That's what Ghost Oki was. You guess or you die. I mean, and I think it's kind of pushed the game into a bit of a weird spot where I think you're right. The pressure has had to adjust, which I don't think is a bad thing. I think previously defensive options were too weak, and you didn't really have to respect your opponent's defensive options. But I think maybe we've turned the pendulum a little bit too far the opposite direction,
Mhm.
specifically in the corner. But as a result, with the defensive options being good, people go, well, I don't want to play around your defensive options. So what if I just snap you and then I don't have to deal with them?
Right.
Because I mean, that is a solution to dealing with, the new guard cancel. Yeah, you can bait it, or I can snap you and just not worry about it.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people are kind of opting for that sort of route. And I think air fuzzies are only compounding the problem we were already dealing with, which is that snap loops are just really oppressive in this game because we still don't have a generic push block.
We don't.
We really don't, and that's continued to be a problem time and time again. Whereas I feel like if we got the push block, like I'm talking, just rip it out of MVC Ultimate, all right, MVC3 Ultimate, just rip it out, put it in. Because I feel like if you could push block in the corner without having to rely on reflect, it would
Yeah.
go a long way. I really do. I really think it would, because then at least you'd have a little bit more counterplay. So.
Mm.
But it's tough, and I mean, I think air fuzzies are only going to add to the madness. I'm waiting for my Twitter savior, tech guys, lab rats. You know where you are. Figure your way out. But
Yeah.
hit it, FloKey. What you got?
I think if you, because I've been talking to a lot of people about it.
Yeah.
My thing is like if you put a push block in the game, like with like not spending meter, the game is gonna just get like you can just push block your way out of any block string, and it just kind of becomes obsolete.
I was thinking something probably
Like a
more like
mirror?
faultless defense from
FD?
Guilty
Yeah,
Gear.
I agree. I think if you
So
put FD in the game,
yeah, if you could let me spend meter to push block.
that's if they put FD in this game,
Faultless defense, I think, would actually translate well into DBZ. You would still have reflect, which would be your free push block, meter free. It would be reflect, but you would also have a faultless defense type option. I think that would be a healthy compromise for the game.
I agree with that.
Okay.
What do you
But
think about that?
So you think
Um,
Piccolo is well positioned here, Hypnotiik, for season two?
yeah,
See,
yeah.
yeah, I think Piccolo. Like, the more I keep playing this patch, the more I'm feeling like Piccolo is like. See, I was the weird kid, and I'm still the weird kid. I still have him top seven, but not top three, top four, because I feel like he wins the 3v3 really well, like any character in
Mhm,
this damn game. But I feel
mhm.
like once you start losing characters and you have him solo, like he has orb, and that's really orb and like maybe a few neutral buttons, but that's really it. Like his reversal isn't too great. It's super punishable. He has to spend resources just to get out of like a situation, which is fair.
Yeah.
But I feel like the way you have in order to make Piccolo good, like you need to have him in a 3v3 or a 2v3. Him by himself is like trash, in my opinion.
Hmm.
I don't think
Um.
I don't think he's too hot.
Well, yeah, yeah. Piccolo by himself definitely does not have as much or as many tools as he has, like with an assist.
Right.
But I feel like it depends on the matchup as well. Like
That's true.
if it's Piccolo versus like I don't know 16 or something, I feel like Piccolo beats 16 because of the orbs, like and the slow rocket punches out of 16. Like he can't really deal with orb as effectively, so you kind of just walk 16 down. But yeah, that's what you said. Kind of just what sums up Piccolo by himself. It's also just matchups too.
Yeah. Who do you think's Piccolo's worst matchup?
Um, Probably Vegeta. Yeah, in light of what Hook said in that No Frills podcast, is probably definitely Vegeta because Vegeta has the multiple key blasts in the air and on the ground, and they're
Yeah.
quick. So if Piccolo throws the orb, the second key blast will definitely clip him after destroying like the first orb.
Yeah, I think Hook's kind of like it's weird too, right? Because like we all look at like the same person, um, or a handful of players, for tech and stuff like that, and like Hook's kind of like one of those guys. Like you kind of like he's kind of one of the kingpins, and like every what kind of like most Piccolo players kind of like all agree on the same kind of things. Like I think Vegeta's a bad matchup. I think Vegito could be a bad matchup.
You think?
I think so. And
Hmm.
this is not saying because I got TOD'd on Twitter by Vegito, but also quickly going back to the point about the snap meta. I
Yeah.
think what's also too it's important that like I know a lot of players that will constantly drop TODs and burn resources just for a TOD, and I'm like I get it, it's important, but like you should also like have that maybe mix up instead of trying to kill me, maybe snap me out. Like
Yeah.
if I'm like what like if say if you like you didn't have like you started half the combo but like you felt like it was gonna drop like maybe rolling 4K 5K in maybe just snap me
Mm,
out and then put me in a
yeah.
precarious situation with sparking with that like 3 or 4 seconds you have left and then you get the second hit and then you get the blue life out and then you can keep going. So I
Yeah.
think
Yeah.
like I think sparking snapback setups are gonna be the next. Like I think that's gonna be a problem.
Really, you're saying that? So you're saying that's gonna be like the next evolution
I think
beyond TODs?
the way you use sparking in this season is gonna be big. Um,
Mm, okay.
because they're not gonna change. I don't think they're gonna change the amount of time you have on sparking
I
anytime
don't
soon.
imagine that's gonna change. I think that's
No.
pretty much set at this point.
So
Yeah.
I think if you the way I because of the way I've been looking at sparking, like I rather use it for like a situation where I can snap you out or like on defense
Mhm.
because like it also does go back to what you said about like matchups and characters. I think it
Yeah.
depends on the team that you have composed. If your team physically can't TOD as much, like going that snap route just sounds grimy and disgusting.
Sparking snap mix instead.
Yeah,
Mm,
just because like think about it, right? You get an air action like if you make someone block a potential fuzzy, you can air like with Gohan, right? You can
Yeah,
air dash off that
that is true.
that's it.
and then you
Yeah.
can go for a low and make that a 50-50.
The only problem I see with that is that you combo, you spark or whatever, then you snap. Then if the opponent opts to snap or to spark on defense as well, then you used your spark and
to
he
force
kind
out a
of just
spark.
wasted it. Yeah,
Yeah,
to
I,
force
That's
out a
true.
spark.
It's a weird like it's just been a philosophy. It's been a thing that's been like coming up in my head recently about like how to
Hmm.
use sparking, whether
Yeah.
offense on defense. So it's like, especially with Piccolo, and I don't know if you can agree with this. I feel like the point of like Hell Zone and stuff like that now is to
Yeah.
force sparking, and then that way that resource is gone, and then you can really start. And then you all you have to do is like either meter for guard cancel.
Yeah.
Really, it. It's really it.
I mean, it's smart because then you waste their spark. So then on a loop, if you hit them again, then they just can't get out. So it makes sense. I see what you're thinking right there.
Yeah, it's just that's why I feel like if you like, I'm kind of happy. Like I'm just I in a dream world, I would love without the Dragon Balls to get another sparking, like a burst, an actual
Hmm.
burst, but that would make the game stupidly interesting and stupidly crazy. Because like if you think
yeah,
about
I
it,
think adding a devoted burst mechanic on top of what we already have would probably be too much. I don't quite think the game is equipped in its current state to handle that in a healthy way. I think
Hmm.
the other interesting part about the snap mix that you kind of bring up here is the issue with sparking snap mix versus regular snap mix. Is in doing a sparking snap mix, you've already actively devoted resources to it.
right,
Like meter is precious, but not that important in this game. It's not like, oh, I spent my bar, I'm never getting that back, right? You can breathe
right,
and pick up bar, not that hard.
mm-hmm.
Whereas you only get one sparking. And if you take that snap mix, because remember, you're also waiting for them to physically come onto the screen, and sparking keeps ticking down during that time. So you're
Right,
also, when you take a snap, you're devoting 2 to 2.5 seconds of your spark time while you're waiting for snap mix. And if you don't get the pickup right away, you're going to have to drag them to the ground if you're going in off incoming. And I feel like you might be burning too much sparking time with that type
Yeah.
of mix, especially because odds are you're not going to do snap mix with sparking if you have one character left because you need to seal out the character.
I
I
agree.
see it.
So I think the only time I could really see snap sparking mix would be specifically with level 2 sparking. It would be level
Yeah,
2 sparking, and it would have to be a relatively short combo to lead in, or you don't have enough
mm-hmm.
sparking time to actually capitalize on the snap mix portion.
Right. Because I feel like level 2 sparking is like ridiculous.
I mean, 10 seconds is a
Yeah.
long time. Like, it
Yeah, it
really
is.
is. Especially when they can jump cancel any normal. That's a really long time on defense, at
It's
least.
so good. It's like, why not? Right? You're
Hey,
like,
it's
"Ah."
free. You gotta let it roll, man.
Like what was I doing today? I was like doing like combos, right? With I was actually learning like Piccolo potential TODs, and I'm just like, this is not gonna work. Like you have to be so specific with the character. Let's see, what else can we bring up?
I kind of segueing in here talking about TODs and sparking. Got to bring it up. Hypnotiik, we've heard a lot of very mixed, some very heated opinions regarding the season 2 patch changes. Beyond just Piccolo, how do you feel the game has changed, evolved for better or worse regarding the season 2 patch changes?
Um, well, I think the season two patch was actually a plus for the game, a positive.
Okay.
Some things obviously were not good, like the meter change. The double super change, I kind of don't like it because it takes away character variety again. Or characters like Tien, you
Yeah.
can't play him now because you're just taking away life for what 300 extra damage. It's nothing. Synergies with like Frieza and I don't know Bardock with the double super there. I know Beerus. I think the double super combo he gets in the air with the orb, the level one, that's like just 300 damage, so
Yeah,
that's
that's
gone.
gone basically, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, so it's just like a big hit to character variety and more in favor of the top tier characters, more of the snapback meta. I like the guard cancel change and the
Okay.
help to. So I just feel even though the game got a little bit slower, I feel it's in a better light
I, I think for the most part, right, I don't think. everybody's been really negative about the patch that we've had on the show.
I don't.
Yeah.
The big
As-
this current social media sphere, specifically a lot. The one thing, because I don't know if you've seen recently, Evo numbers just came out. Well, correction,
mm,
Evo player placement has come out,
Evo.
and
Hmm.
with DBZ finding itself towards the tail end of that list, a lot of people have been searching for explanations as to why. And one of the biggest culprits that was getting the finger was the patch. I don't think that's true. I personally don't, but that's I would have kind of kicked that to you. Do you think the patch is responsible for this, or do you think it's in something larger, something beyond, game mechanics?
Um, I don't think it definitely wasn't the patch. I feel like it's one of those things where one, the toy or the company, whatever license thing with the tournaments, how some tournaments might get shut down if they don't have the ability to play their game at the tournament or whatever, that whole situation.
Yeah, I think that was
And
huge.
yeah, that situation. So people are kind of like fearful, like, oh, I want to play this game, but then what? Only I can only go to World Tour events. I know they're gonna be stacked, so do I really want to go? Blah blah blah. And then another reason is the game's already a year in. So much has progressed. So many things has been like found. Like if you haven't been playing since day one, you're gonna be like on a real catch up. Like you would have to be grinding every day, and online it seems to just get worse and worse, and if you don't have a offline partner or scene to work with, then you're basically in a real detriment.
Yeah, I agree with that 100%. I think also too, right? Kind of, I think that the most important part of that was the toy situation.
I think that
That
was
Yeah,
catastrophic for the game.
I
I
think that,
yeah.
Yeah,
and the fact that because I feel like everyone's still in effect from that, as well as I feel like the with the world tour because we don't know anything about it.
no.
Again,
Hmm.
we're kind of at this point right now where we're like, well, my money would be on they would we would probably get info, um, probably around Combo Breaker around
Okay.
May, give or take. Hopefully, not like what they did last year and dropped the announcement right before CEO, and then everyone's like, "Oh my god, now I gotta go." Like, I think it's Dragon Ball. I think also too, those are just preliminary numbers.
Yeah, I mean,
So
obviously they're not final numbers. I'm setting this current stage of discussion that people are having right now.
yeah, I think
Yeah.
also too, I think a lot of people are excited for other games. Eunice,
Yeah,
um, that's I think that's just the name of the. I think it's funny too. Like my whole group chat right now is talking about Eunice. Like it's ridiculous. It's a Dragon Ball group chat, and we're talking about Eunice, and I'm like,
Yeah,
jeez,
you also
dude.
have to think about too that they just knocked down Melee and brought out Smash Ultimate, and with um MK11 coming out, I know the NRS community is like rejoicing over that because they brought back, I guess, quote unquote, like footsies and fundamental with the slow play that
yep.
we've seen, the
Right.
MK11 screenshots and the streams and stuff. So that's another big game that people might turn to. Some SF5 heads might go that route because they see that it's slow and like footsie bit. Might have like some other communities in that game too. So
Yeah.
it's kind of just like a battle.
I it might turn into what Dragon Ball did last year, right? Around this
Yeah.
time, like a lot of people were getting into it, and they were from various communities. I wonder if that's gonna happen again, but for Mortal Kombat 11, where like
Mm,
everybody and their mom's gonna try to jump into it
yeah.
from RIP. So it's gonna be an interesting. Cause I know there's a lot of people that are getting into Eunice now because of it. There's a lot of people playing, getting ready for Sam Show because of the game, which I think that game is gonna be sick. Um, so it's just an interesting time for DBZ as a whole. Also, real quick, guys, I want to make mention if you guys have any questions for us.
Thank you for the sub, Bondi.
Oh, was that 6 months? Ew.
Appreciate it, my man.
If you guys have any questions for the panel here, myself, JDiesel, or Hypnotiik, please throw them in the chat. I am checking this thing periodically. I'm trying to pick up questions as we go, kind of keep the conversation rolling. Um, hmm. So, yeah, go ahead.
No, I think that like there's definitely been like an interesting jumping off point here. And actually one of the big things oh my goodness. I think it was no, it wasn't True Underdog. It was oh my goodness. It was a Rooflemonger.
Dodoya.
Not Tato Doya. I like how I'm just listing off like one creator after
Oh
another.
God, who makes Dragon Ball content?
It's the last one.
JM Cross?
Yes, Crofts. There it was. Sorry.
Yeah.
Crofts, if you ever listen to this, I'm sorry. Your name escaped me. But one thing he actually one thing he brought up today, was looking at like the Steam numbers for DBFC, and DBFC Steam numbers have actually been incredibly good, comparatively to a lot of other games. And I think it was interesting because Hypnotiik, you were talking about earlier how your scene has started running like those casual nights, right? Where you're like when you
Yeah.
guys are like starting to get people out and like try to teach them and help them, develop as players.
Hmm. Yeah.
And those numbers have been pretty good for you, right? During like the casual nights.
Yeah, the first like real casual night we hosted, we had a crew battle towards the end of it, like just to, like have fun and
Yeah.
like pick sides or whatever. And we had like a huge showing for that. It was like 20, I think probably at least 20 people or more for that casual night. Everybody was grinding and stuff. So yeah.
That's sick.
That is actually awesome. But yeah, and I think that's something that like, kind of goes back to like maybe some of the Steam numbers is I feel like there is still such like a presence and community for this game. But I think the community is so much bigger than just the current competitive one.
I agree.
Yeah.
And I don't think that's really being tapped into. Also, Kevin Teak, Hypnotiik will get his major soon. And actually, Kevin had a question he wanted to ask before he's right about to leave. He wanted to know what the next event that you were planning to go to outside of Massachusetts was going to be. And I'm going to get that question in before he
Um,
pieces out here.
I was thinking about Bum's Birthday Bash
Bum's
in New
birthday
York,
bash. All right.
or that, and or Super TSB maybe, since those are pretty close to me. And I'm not going to like anything like that I have to take a plane to, more
Yeah.
be like a bus or something.
No, I agree.
Yeah.
That's right.
So it'll
If you go
probably
to
be those two in the coming.
Super TSB, let me know. I need a partner.
Oh,
Oh,
for
is this the
the
duo squad being formed right now? FloKey and Hypnotic?
Jesus
That's
Christ.
that's unfair. That's a
If
double
there's
Piccolo
two
team.
Piccolos on
That's
the same
that's
team,
unfair.
that's a problem. That's a problem. But Bum's
I
birthday bash
wanna.
is insane.
Hey, what?
Bum's birthday bash is gonna be insane.
Yeah, and this is gonna be stacked too. So it's more of just like to test and like to chill and see.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That
but
should
to
be
come back to what Diesel was saying about the PC thing though,
Yeah.
I think that that outburst of like the sales in DBZ also might be credited to Parsec that people are using and like to get essentially offline online play for DBZ and practice stuff or lab stuff with another player.
Have you actually gotten to
So,
use it? Because I have not gotten to use Parsec. I've seen a lot of so many people talking about it, especially Rogue Yoshi. Rogue Yoshi always has stuff about Parsec. So like I follow him, so I
yeah,
see it. Have you gotten to use it
I have
personally?
nah, I have not gotten to use it because I don't have a like a working PC that can like sustain DBZ
Yeah.
or anything like that. So I haven't really tested it. But from what I hear from my friends and people who use it, like it's amazing. It's basically like offline for one player and like just like a slight delay for the other, but it's essentially offline.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's
but
actually nutty. I might actually have to go get Parsec since I play on PC. Because I would
yeah,
I would love to be able to just play with more people because it's frustrating that the net code, the built-in net code has not been I think it's been one of the biggest things holding DBZ back. It really has
yeah,
kind of felt
definitely.
that way. Like
Hmm.
even on PS4, it's not hitting on much.
it's not.
Yeah, and that plays a huge part in essentially keeping both
Yeah.
a casual community and a competitive community together. Because that's what you see in NRS. Like to keep going back to NRS, like they have a World of Gods tournament for Injustice 2, like 10,000 end of the season pot or prize pool for those like I guess I don't know how long, like probably 6 month long tournaments, but their netcode is amazing. They have like so many online tournaments if you just search on like challenge or smash.gg, people hosting these and right. because the netcode is so good. It just like gives you more access to.
Makes a lot of
Okay.
sense. And I
Very
think
good.
you're right. I think especially as we are getting along, further and further, I think fighting games are going to start increasingly living and dying by their netcode because we're
Yeah,
getting to the point with how connected we are. It's not just in the arcades anymore. People, if for a game to grow and to like really keep that casual fan base, you need to be able to play from your house. It's
I
just
agree.
yeah,
it's so important because it helps keep the grind going outside of your weeklies.
exactly.
Because if you and your homie from different places can play and it feels like you guys met up in person, I mean that's just
Hmm.
incredible. It opens up so many more
Yeah,
possibilities.
exactly.
No, I definitely agree with that. Yeah, I've heard really good things about Parasect. I wish PS apparently they're working on a PS4 client.
Mm,
Don't know
that
when
would be
that's coming
interesting.
out, but
I don't know how that's gonna work.
I don't know either. But that would be something that would be huge. Kind of segueing away from DBZ for really quick. Is there any games in the near future that are coming out? We kind of touched on Mortal Kombat 11 a bit earlier.
Mm,
And the rest of
yeah.
the Evo lineup. Is there any games you're currently playing or are kind of get into in the rest of 2019 other than Dragon Ball?
Um, well, I just like I play SF5 just for like fun or just to troll whatever. Since I play Zangief, he's like my favorite character. But in the coming, I guess next month, I'm definitely going hard for MK11. I'm just see if I can cop it early, maybe like a week or a few days, even a few days. It's huge, so I'll definitely try to cop it early and grind. Cause I know NRS games have like amazing netcode, so the grind for that online and offline will kind of just um be amazing for me.
No, it's good. That's definitely good. Yeah, MK11 is it's good. Be huge on the East
Yeah,
Coast, 100%.
yeah.
Um,
MVC4.
someone said MVC4. I'm actually dead.
After school in the chat. Why you gotta be? Why you gotta do that to me? Why do you gotta bring this into this house of decency?
Actually, no. Speaking of bringing something in this house, I feel like every week we need to bring this up at this point because
Oh
it's like
no,
a staple. We're pay. Don't oh no me.
Floki. I just have to. Oh no, it's just you as a person.
Who do
It's
you
built
play in
in.
Apex Legends? I need to know. Do you play Apex?
Yeah, I play. I actually like that game. I play it a lot
All
with
right,
my friends.
who do you main?
Pathfinder. I love the grapple, the movement, the
The
smoothness of the
smoothment.
game.
Hey, let's go.
Yes.
Okay.
If you whip it, if you turn the camera and then grapple or jump and whip it, you just fly.
Oh my god.
Floki, who do you main?
I play Pathfinder. We
Yes,
went. Yeah.
yes.
Yo, I'm mad. We're Piccolo game. We're Piccolo game
You're both
Pathfinder.
Pathfinder mains and you're both Piccolo mains. This is a
Yes.
conspiracy. That's all this
I don't
is.
think it's a. I don't think it's a conspiracy.
You don't
I
think it's
don't think so.
conspiracy? All right. Maybe that's just me then.
No, no, you know what would be an actual conspiracy if Hook played Apex and he would play Pathfinder. That
Yeah,
that
that'd be kind of weird too.
Piccolo mains only play Pathfinder confirmed.
Yeah.
that'd be ridiculous. Um, yeah, I feel like we need to bring up Apex all the time because it's a nice little segue from everything. Is there any
Apex is
specific?
amazing.
Yeah, that game is.
Apex is incredible. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
I've
It's
been
my
binging it
favorite
so
BR
much.
out of all.
After school in the chat says, "Are you gonna be in the MK11 beta?"
Yeah, for sure. I signed up for the stress test the 15th or 13th, and then I'm definitely gonna pre-order for the 3 day, I think on the 28th. So yeah, definitely gonna be in there.
Because I'm gonna be grinding DBZ.
Oh, you can't get
Mm.
distracted again, Floki. What happened to Guilty Gear?
I'm playing Guilty Gear at
Okay.
Final Round. So I found out
Oh,
Final
okay.
Round's schedule, and
Yeah.
it actually works out where I can play Guilty Gear one day and play DBZ another day.
Oh my goodness. I
So it
can't
just
believe
works
you.
out. So I can
Yeah,
just
that's
hit.
another thing.
Yo, Guilty Gear is fun, bro.
Guilty Gear
Mm.
is, by the way, Guilty Gear 3, when it comes out, I am
Yeah,
so excited.
I'm more in that game. I
I'm
need my girl
That's a
biking in every single
bike.
game.
It's gonna be hard though for you to. I don't know if you're good at managing like 2 games. Like I know you're a DBZ head and go hard in that, but then trying to get hard in Guilty Gear too. That's been out for a while.
I think what's interesting about that, and it's kind of nice that you guys are bringing that up. I think what a challenge, because I know even you said that you want to grind hard in Mortal Kombat as well. I
Yeah,
think
yeah,
it's
yeah.
I think it's important that you know how to space your time out properly.
Mm-hmm.
One thing that a lot of people know is that I only practice. I practice with people, as well as I only practice like when I do online stuff. I only practice on stream. I don't. So like that's the only time I do like stuff. It's a rarity for me to play like not on stream, but for the
Yeah.
most part, I kind of space everything out where it's like I get an hour and a half of each game. And it's just back to my neutral and my fundamentals. Like I have decent fundamentals.
Mm-hmm.
I just need to not be like how I'm reflect happy is how I don't have to be parry happy. And also the defense, the how defensive you have to be in Guilty Gear kind of correlates to the defensive how you have to be so defensive in Dragon Ball at times, where you have to sit there and block. So it's kind of like
Mm-hmm.
it works both
Okay.
The
ways.
patience that goes into not getting opened up.
Yeah, so like I've been using both. Don't you dare cheat on Bike and fuck DBFC. No, I can't. She my waifu, but like she understands what I be doing. She understands. But I've been dabbling a bit in Eunice as well, just to try. I keep playing it. Been playing the worst character in the game, so it's okay.
So
I mean, it makes sense.
yeah,
'Cause we're at a point in like DBZ where if you're good, then you really don't need to be grinding every day. You just need to like come back ever so often and
Yeah,
like just focus on your execution or combos or
yeah.
just play the game and whatnot.
Maybe just practice a few setups. Like I found
Yeah.
out like new setups with Gohan Piccolo, and I'm trying to refine those for final round.
Mhm.
Like
Mhm.
other than that, like I'm just kind of just playing with a few folks. Like I had somebody over the other day doing that, but I think it's important to like. I saw Romanova tweet the other earlier today or whatever, and she was like, "I need to make Dragon Ball my priority." I'm like, "Yeah, I kind of agree with that because it's hard to like have like you need to have a game that's your priority, but it's also like important. Like if you want to play other games, like you shouldn't pigeonhole yourself.
yeah.
Mm.
You should try other things. Like that's just the way of life. Like for
Yeah.
real. Like if you can like get into that mindset where you want to just try everything, like I think for me it's like it's important because like your mind would be open. Like so. Damn. But you're only 18? That's crazy.
Yeah. I mean,
That's
I got
crazy.
into the scene last year when I was 17, the first offline scene, and then turned 18. So that means,
Yeah. Are you
I
going to
guess,
school?
yeah, I'm still in high school right now, senior year,
Oh
and then I'll
wow.
be attending college next year.
Yeah.
Where are you gonna be in Boston still or are you
Yeah,
thinking about
yeah,
I
Boston,
guess.
Boston represent. So
yeah.
actually, one of the other things that was brought to my attention is that you previously went under a different tag, which was the artist formerly not the artist formerly known as, the player formerly known as Monkey Madness.
Yeah,
But obviously, you're now Hypnotiik. So I gotta
yeah.
ask, what prompted the change?
Well, one Monkey Madness like kind of like just grew on me over time. Like I thought it got started getting corny, and like people would be like, "Yo, what's good, Monkey?" And I'm like, "Well, it was good," but then Monkey sounded, has bad
Yeah,
connotations and stuff in this day and age.
True,
So it's
yeah.
like, all right, hold up, I need to change this and whatnot. And I guess Hypnotic's a more professional name and more concise and whatnot. But also, if you search up Monkey Madness, it's from old school RuneScape. If y'all ever played RuneScape before, it was one of the quests. And so I was thinking like if I want to grow my brand, I don't want people to look up Monkey Madness and see RuneScape, which is a like popular game. And instead, I want people to look up Hypnotic, which is not as popular. Like even though I think there's a drink called it, but it's not
Yep.
as popular.
level
So like,
level 126, dude.
Yeah.
yeah, you played it too.
Yeah, that's my boy goes by level 126. So the RuneScape heads are here.
Oh my
Yeah.
god.
Mhm. So it's just one of
Hey,
those.
hey, mad respect, mad respect.
That is
Yeah.
yeah. Like so name changing is kind of like, cause like it was not only just you. You know what's funny, not or ironic. You changed your name a couple days or the same day as Nico did to Jace.
Yeah.
I'm still fighting to get over that. I have to fight every bone in my body to call him Jace. I really do.
I feel like for him, Nico Maki was just better. I feel like it just rolled off the tongue, like some people say. It just like it was nice, like Nico Maki. It's stuck in people's brain. Jace is just, I don't know. I mean, that's his decision. When he posted the post about him, I was thinking of changing my name. I was thinking the same thing, and I commented it under, and then I just changed because I was
Right.
also going like I was also like trying to reach out to like sponsorships or whatever. So to have
Right.
that name ready and whatnot, like for example, Will to Win,
I remember that.
I did the applications to them. I sent them. They reached out, but they declined me because they already have like no Kami and whatnot. That
Yeah.
beast. So they don't really need another DBZ player.
Right.
So you felt like this was important for not only, to avoid any kind of connotations, but also for your branding as a player.
Yeah, yeah.
So, do you also dabble in any type of content creation or things, to kind of enhance your personal player brand?
You stream.
Yeah, I stream, but I haven't been streaming in like the past probably month or two because I usually just stream to play DBZ, but I don't play DBZ as much as of recently because I haven't had any like motivation or any tournament to grind for. So I would just be
Right.
like getting on. I'll probably if I stream, I'll probably just stream some ranked games, play most or like 80% of the players I play are bad, and I usually beat them unless I run into like some good players, and then that'll be like good sets. But then it would just be me, just straight up playing, and I kind of got bored of that and whatnot.
Right.
I
That
kind of
makes
like to stream with a purpose and whatnot.
right. Yeah, because I remember you streamed after ECT, which you got ninth at, and like,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah, your name got like you blew up after that. I remember that. Like you beat,
yeah,
I think it was Pred. You beat. I think you beat
yeah.
Pred or something.
I'd be in pool. I lost to No Kami, and then I beat Rogue Yoshi to make it out into top 32.
Oh, you took out
Losing
Al?
side. Yeah, I took him out,
Ooh.
and then I beat Legendary Pred and Losers to make it to the match before top 8, and I lost to Lord Knight. And I'm still mad about that because I knew I could have had game 1 against him, and then I choked game 1, and then it's just steamroll game 2 and whatnot.
Mm.
That usually happens though. 100%.
Yeah, the classic.
It's like damn, like I could have did this and then no, but that's really interesting though that like you and then from because when we were talking at ECT, that was your first major.
Yeah, that was my first major. Yeah, first like I mean I went to Retro Rumble before that, but that was a regional, and like
How's it going on?
that was my first like real legit outing ECT right there.
That's yeah, it's wild to think about too, because
Yeah,
there was so many people at that event.
yeah,
So to kind of hear that you're potentially thinking about going to other events, is definitely a huge step because I know a lot of people are really hesitant to make that move.
Yeah.
Uh,
hmm
definitely. And then kind of going back to the name change. Funny enough, I actually wasn't FloKey originally,
mm,
way back.
Oh, this is some
yeah,
lore. I haven't even heard this.
Yeah, so kind of go on the name change talk. So I originally wasn't even FloKey. I actually was just my name, like 100%.
Really?
I was just my name, yeah. Cause I didn't have any like funny name. I didn't have any creative name, and then Dragon Ball came out, and I wanted to. So I think branding is super important. We had Ginja on last week, which by the way, guys, all if you guys are watching on YouTube, see all YouTube heads, all the playlist with the rest of the episodes are in the description, I believe. Yeah, yeah.
Yes.
hmm
Also, for those of you watching on YouTube, I will be putting timestamps to each individual topic from now on. So you can skip
Ooh,
around to the parts that you would
nice.
like to be on.
ooh.
Mm.
That now, yeah, guys.
The other thing I kind of wanted to ask is earlier, Floki, you talked about you put Piccolo as like top 7 right now, right?
Yeah.
But you don't put him top 3. So I actually want to kick the question over to Hypnotiik. Where do you put Piccolo?
I feel like I put him in the top 3 place too.
Top three.
Yeah, top three.
Who?
I just feel like the patch hasn't changed. I feel like it would be either Bardock top or probably in the same row, I guess. Like it would be Bardock, Gotenks, Piccolo. Those top three right now
Okay.
that I feel.
So Go Tanks and Piccolo kind of for the snap mix, and then Bardock for still stat
Yeah,
mix or more for the neutral.
I mean, he has like insane solo fuzzies he can get in the
Yeah,
corner. He can confirm off them. He can like just in neutral area. He's unga bunga. He does what he wants. He's
He
just
said
overall
he's
good.
he
Yeah,
just
he's
imposes his will. That's what
yeah,
Bardock
basically.
does. Yeah, he is a
Yeah.
scary character.
100%. Um, there's probably gonna be a character patch down the line.
Yeah.
Should be. I hope to God it's soon before this like the season starts up, like for the
Mhm.
World Tour.
Yeah.
If what is one okay one buff and one nerf would you like to see for Piccolo?
Mm, one buff. I feel like I mean, I don't know what they could buff for him because he's already like, he has everything. He
He's
has
too good.
Paranormal
He's too
Grounding.
scary
He
already.
has the orb. Yeah, the
Like,
only thing I see would be like meterless mid-screen knockdown.
Mirrorless
That's one
midscreen.
of the yeah.
I-
And then a nerf for him would probably have to be they're probably gonna nerf Hellzone either like one less orb or two less orbs in the super or like less obscurity thing like that.
just let me see. Just let me see as the defending
Yeah.
player.
You know what they could do with Hellzone? They could do what they did to Dante and Marvel Infinite.
What do you mean?
So they made Gunshot the super for Dante. There's a delay startup for that. So
Oh,
he does the animation, but he doesn't start shooting his guns until like a few frames after the fact.
Okay.
So what if he puts out the orbs, right? Bandai is probably reading my mind right now. He's gonna put out the orbs, right?
okay.
You're gonna recover already. You're already gonna be in, and then he does it, or
Um,
he does it, activates it, but then the orbs come in after you're already. So like you have a little bit of frame, you have a couple frames to do something beforehand. So like you
I
have
see.
that movement option. So like maybe a delay on Hellzone Grenade. I think the one buff he does need. I think the one buff he might need is maybe a reduced. Now I might be crazy for this. I want a slightly reduced time on charging special beam cannon.
Really?
Mm,
Yeah,
I mean, I kind of actually like that because then that would implement more character variety with certain comps or like certain supers.
yeah,
Maybe he could get like on a really high knockdown or something. He could at least charge it for like a second, like quick charge, just for
yeah,
like 100 extra damage. I
yeah. Like just
get
give
the
me something.
optimized players out there.
Just
Yeah.
give me something. So like, because I know there's certain combos with Super Saiyan Goku that I do.
Yeah.
I
Hmm.
do downwards Kamehameha Super, and then I don't get full charge. And I'm like, why did I charge this when
Yeah.
I can just call Gohan and just get two level ups?
Right.
Exactly.
So it's like, and or so that or because I think orb. I think if you make the light orb faster,
Like the Hell
it's
Zone.
still super dashable, so he recovers faster.
Um.
Or like the small or the fat the big ball recover faster. Just
Hmm.
because just so they're a little bit more consistent. But
Oh, I see.
that's like wild dream buff
Yeah,
because
I
Yeah.
think the problem is Piccolo's kit all around is already so strong that
Yeah.
even stuff that I would say is borderline quality of life, like a little bit of extra damage on special beam cannon of all things. It feels like he has to be reined in other areas before you could do anything else like that.
I think
Yeah.
what you could do with that is you can nerf orb more and like because that's like the main thing because I think what they did this previous character patch with
Yeah.
him I think it was amazing. I think the only thing that they really messed up was certain combo routes. Which
Gotcha. Okay.
so then now he kind of has more neutral tools.
Right.
So like kind of going back to what I mentioned earlier about the 3v1 situation or like the 1v1 situation where like he's solo, like he has some tools to help him out, but not enough tools. If that makes sense.
That makes a
Like
lot of sense. Yeah.
he has 2S now, which is this character is basically Super Scroll. This character is Scroll without
Yeah.
What?
like
Except he doesn't set up unblockables on me and just kill my whole team.
pretty much.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, if we're not going full Marvel here.
You know, it's okay. Like he's the only Marvel. He's the only character in this game that I
Yeah.
think is a Marvel character, almost a Marvel character.
So you think he's on that sort of like borderline threshold of being a Marvel character in DBZ?
Yeah, I think him and Gotenks.
Yeah.
Him, Gotenks, and
Definitely.
Kimbo. I think those three. Maybe Gohan. Gohan has to be leveled though.
I was gonna say I think base Gohan wouldn't fit the bill.
Nah, yeah. I think it's all. I think like level 1 up. So, I think there is a handful of characters I think could be Marvel character isk if they do. But I think the one thing they need to change is maybe put a delay on Hellzone Grenade, similar to Dante and Marvel Infinite. Um, and I
They
hate
could do
bringing up
that,
Marvel
or
Infinite.
they could do that, or they could just increase the speed at which the orbs hit, so you have less time to mix.
That's true.
That's actually an interesting because I would also because the one downside to the version that you gave FloKey would be that increasing would means that you couldn't do extensions with Hellzone.
That's true.
Because if you increase the amount of delay on them, there's a lot of combo routes that are just not going to work anymore. If you
Right.
speed them up, though, I think that's actually true because it would give less time to mix. I think either way, though, they do need to clear up the explosion effect because I still think that the visibility is not high enough, especially when now you're dealing with, high-low mixes with Piccolo and on top of that, left-right. So, like, with all of
Yeah.
that in the mix, I think there needs to be more visibility to be able to check those options.
I agree. Yeah. Let's see what else. As we're kind of wrapping up, this is under the radar. We kind of highlight on up and coming players, and try to give advice to players that are trying to break that glass ceiling, into like the top 32s and the top 16s at their majors, and maybe even doing top threes at their locals. So what advice would you give you or somebody that's trying to break that proverbial glass ceiling, and just become a better player? Like, what advice would you
Um,
give?
well, in my like training method, whatever, I don't take notes or whatever, um, or like watch back my matches that too much. It's more of like I guess the pain response or pain receptors. Like if you go to a tournament or online tournaments, I enter a bunch of online tournaments, anything I could find. Like I feel like that's the best way to learn. Like if you lose that tournament or lose a winner's match or something, like why did I lose? Did I lose because of my combos? Did I lose because I dropped the combo in execution or something? Did I not input an air dash correctly or I messed up? I got a super dash instead,
Right.
or did I like I don't know whatever it is that I lost that match? I would feel that and I'd be like, wow, I really lost because of that. Like that's just gonna resonate more with me instead of like grinding. I don't know 2 hours and like, oh, I lost to this random dude online or whatever. And I feel like tournaments, like just entering a bunch of them, really just allows you to level up and you get that like response, that stimulus. That's why when I actually first came in March of the year, I wasn't actually winning my logos. I was getting like second or third place, and I was like, why am I losing? I'm
Right.
losing because I'm dropping this. I'm doing this. I'm losing because of this. And it was mostly because execution, because I boil it down to execution, neutral, or defense and fundamentals. Those are the three things that I boiled my gameplay down to, and I kept hitting the execution button. It was execution, execution, execution. I'm like, all right, hold on. I
That's
need to tighten everything up, and then because of that, I guess I'm the best player in mass now.
it's crazy to say, right? It's
Yeah.
it's it's like a weird like you just want to keep pushing, because that's how like a lot of people like in other states maybe would feel. It's like, man, it's like I'm doing this, but then I'm now I'm becoming the most like consistent player in my
Mhm.
scene. So like, and to now hear that you're like kind of giving back to your scene, it's like again like really big.
Yeah,
Because not a lot of people will do that if they're the best. It's weird. It's like a weird
yeah.
like I forget what the word is, but
Mentality.
it's a weird mentality to have, especially now with the game like as in its form right now. Um, but
But also another thing I also credit my level up to like Hook again, God and Splash. I don't know if you know Splash, because I used to
I don't
grind
know
with those
Splash.
dudes
Yeah.
in the summer. I grinded with those dudes like every single day. It'd be Splash and like the noon timer, like around dinner time, and then Hook Gang God, he would get on at night, and I would literally just grind like 2 3 hour sets with him every single day. And like, even though he was like way above me, I was still like kind of right there. So it wasn't like he was just straight bodying me. I was like learning as well, and that's another thing I feel people need, like an adequate training partner to the point where you're either better you're better than that person by like just a small margin, or you're worse than that player by just a small, or like not, I guess, a decent margin, but kind of in between that,
Yeah.
so that you can learn from your mistakes. Or like, why am I losing to this better player? Like, what is this better player doing that I can also copy or do the same and add it to my gameplay?
Would
I
you also say? Sorry, you go first.
Yeah. I was going to say, I really like the way, harking back to something you just mentioned a little bit earlier, I love the way you broke the game down into three core areas for yourself,
That's
Yeah,
big.
because I think that is so, so smart. Because I think a lot of players, especially at the intermediate level, they get so hung up on minutia. They get so hung
yeah,
up on, like, I need to do this specific combo route. I need to do this. I need to do that. Where you're like, is my neutral sucking? Is my execution sucking? And by kind of like taking those, I guess, like the minute situations and blowing them up to kind of like a macro concept, I
yeah,
felt like that really helped you identify what was actually wrong, like the big picture. Why am I losing?
Yeah.
And it was able to help you effectively figure out what to do. And I think that's actually incredibly smart. I see a lot of people get way too wrapped up in specific situations as opposed to kind of blowing it up into those big concepts like you're talking about.
Like
yeah,
I definitely agree with that. Like one thing too is that like for me for example, like I have a really bad time reflecting. Like I think reflect is my best friend, and
Yeah.
like I get
hmm
hung up on the defensive as like should I do something I'll wake up, should I not do something I'll wake up. So I kind of have that same mentality where I look at like the grand scheme of my matches now
Yeah.
versus just like one moment in time. Like I look at like the one of the main problems I have, and then let's see like where I can see it, and then I keep like look at each aspect. Like go through the match a couple times. Also, kind of going back to what you mentioned before, do you also suggest like someone that goes even with you as a training partner?
um even, I guess it would be. I mean, Splash over time, he's gotten like really good actually.
Oh
He
yeah.
I've been going sometimes, or mostly I like win the sets in a winning record, but lately he's been really getting his fuzzies down. He's been teaching me like some, I guess, optimal combo routes, like the new routes with Piccolo or whatnot. But he's been like going even with me. I haven't played with him in like a week or two, but he's definitely developing.
You see, and plus I think he still plays Piccolo, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. He plays Piccolo, Bardock, and 16.
I remember he was messing with Frieza for a bit. I remember when because we were talking because me and him were talking for a bit as well. We were talking about like the new Hellzone loops and we're trying to find stuff for Frieza.
Yeah.
And I
Oh
remember
yeah,
also
he was going through a dilemma. I was
I
hard.
remember
I
that.
was joking. Yeah, he
I
was
was
like
like
substituting 16 and Bardock for like Frieza for like Blue Goku or Goku. So he was going crazy.
I remember that. But like it's really cool though to like, 'cause I remember like talking to you, Book, and Splash a lot about like different questions I have about Piccolo, and like we
Mhm.
kind of like all like work together on different stuff. So it's kind of
Yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
it's kind of cool to like see like where everybody's going now. Like Hook's doing Hook, and Hook's streaming right now too. Like this man
Mm.
is ridiculous.
Yeah, he's grinding.
Like that man is ridiculous. Like
I mean,
Splash,
uh,
you, me, like, we're all grinding. So it's really cool to see like every like and like I love talking tech with you guys. Like 100%.
yeah.
Like you guys are like kind of like not like tech monsters, but you guys like understand like things that I don't understand. You guys get and things you might not get. I get. It's
Right.
weird.
Yeah.
It's a weird like camaraderie. And there's no. Okay, you might know this. Is there a Piccolo Discord?
No, there's no. I
There's no
guess
Piccolo Discord?
no, not really. I mean, the NE DBZ Discord has like character sections, but no one cares about those. No one posts in those. But I guess you could say the Piccolo Discord would be, I guess, the Hook Gang God Discord. There's a DBZ section. People talk a lot about Piccolo there and
That's
like
crazy.
just DBZ in general.
That's crazy.
That is amazing. That's gotta be so cool to be so iconic with a character that people are like, ah, your Discord. All right, that's just gonna be the new Piccolo hangout. Like, let's go. Like,
Yeah, people usually just go to Hook for the Piccolo stuff and whatnot.
Yeah. Um. So besides bumps and Super TSB potentially, is there any events in Boston or like nearby Boston that you're going to be hitting up soon, other than the local?
Um, well, yeah, I guess in the summer in July, I think Defender North maybe. Probably
Okay.
ECT again. And Shine. Oh, Shine is a Boston tournament for Smash, but if I think they host like a side DBZ.
I
okay.
remember
And
that.
it's not in, but they moved it outside of Boston, but it's fine. It's
Yeah,
still
it's in
in.
Worcester.
Yeah.
Which I actually know that area for some because I used to go to concerts over there. I actually know that, and there's actually a really good soup spot if it's still over there. So
Mm.
like there's decent food options over there. So it's not like terrible. So that's cool. I think you're probably, in my opinion, like one of the better like when everyone talks about like Piccolo players nowadays in the U.S. Um, people bring up obviously Hook and Beneath, but I like bringing up you, Splash. I don't
Yeah.
like giving myself clout, but me and like there's a bunch of other like Piccolo players like in the states that like not a lot of people will talk about
Yeah.
because everyone just talks about Hook. So
I
is
mean,
it
yeah,
like
Hook's best.
so it's is it like a motivator to be as good as Hook, or is it like you just or
Nah,
you just
not
want to
really.
surpass them?
At this point, like I've lost that craze to be like, oh, I'm a top three Piccolo player and whatnot. I've lost that craze in like December around there because at this point, I just want to be like a top. Like I want to make that PG top 50 list, even though people don't care about that. I feel like that's like a goal of
It's a good
mine to
goal.
make that list. Yeah,
It's a
I
good
just
goal.
want to be like a good player. I don't care about being like one of the best
Character
character
specialist.
Yeah.
players. Yeah, character
Oh,
specialist because that
That
title's already taken.
yeah, because it's like because that's my like a thing with me too. I was like, oh god, I'd be as good at Hook, but I was like realizing like maybe I shouldn't worry about that. I should worry about like everything else. But man, it has been a good episode, guys. We still got about 10 minutes left ish. Please throw in your last minute questions. We are looking at the chat constantly.
absolutely. Actually, Big Daddy Alex has something to say to you.
Okay.
The
What?
event in his pants. That's the other event he wanted you to go to. He said you know who this is.
Oh no, that's my friend Alec. I play a bunch of games with him on PS4. He's one of the people I grind Apex with.
Oh, is this your fellow squad mate?
This is your squad.
Yeah,
This is your
yeah,
squad right
he,
here?
he's kind of weird and whatnot, but
yo, 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 roasting. Yo, it wouldn't be under the radar unless someone got roasted.
yeah.
100%.
I'm not cutting that, by the way. That is all staying in.
Um,
Oh man, but one quick question here from After School Special. Back on track. He had to ask, of course, who do we all play in Unist? So we'll kick. I unfortunately have not gotten to get my hands on Eunice, so I'm going to respectfully decline. But I will kick that down the road to Master Floki. Who you got, Flo?
so I've been dabbling with it again. I have my copy right here.
Uh,
Uh,
I like the preparation. I like it.
um, I've been playing a lot of Inkaidu. I
Yep.
cannot say his name. He is the worst character in the game, like by far, like by far. Been playing a lot of him. Been dabbling with Gordo. and also been playing. I might play a little Carmine. It's kind of be like my fun game, kind of like Guilty Gear. It's like maybe my fun game. Like I want to have knowledge, so I can reapply that for Dragon Ball. So okay,
I actually don't play anime games. DBZ is my first anime game, and I just don't like the anime game like Guilty Gear or Unist or Blaze Blue. I actually don't like those games at all, so I
that's
actually can't
interesting.
answer that.
All right.
That's
And the
really
last thing,
interesting.
FloKey, a fan wanted to reach out to you. Can you say hi to Gurr? He's a big fan of yours.
Gur.
Gurr.
Oh God, is that the It's not the
Is
NRS
that the
player, right?
NRS player?
I think so.
Oh, what's up, Gur? I don't even know you like that, but what's up, bro? Um,
Absolutely.
real quick, we do talk about this with all of our panel. Um, as season two gets more characters, we know two of them already with Broly
Yes.
from the movie and Blue Gogeta. Hypnotiik, who is the two characters left on that board that you want to
Um,
see?
Probably Master Roshi and I really don't know. Probably
I
Master
mean,
Roshi.
you said the most important character. So I mean, honestly, you're good in my book. That's all the person I want to see. So
Probably Master Roshi, maybe like I guess Hercule. I guess everybody likes Hercule. That'd be cool to the cast. Or maybe a Janemba. Janemba might be a cool addition.
I think Janimba. I don't know. My pocket pick, who I would love to see is Deborah. I think Deborah would be really
Mm,
cool with like the stone spit and the
yeah,
sword. I don't know.
yeah.
Pretty cool.
I still stand by. I want my other green boy. I want Pycon.
Oh my god. You just want to play
Icon.
Pycon Piccolo. I know that's
I
what this
really
boils
want
down to.
Pycon.
You
I
can't
want.
hide it, Floki.
I want to play Gohan, Pycon, Piccolo.
I know you do. It shows through so deep.
That character is so sick. Like, come on. No, but hmm. Let's see what else. So you don't like anime games? Let's. Wow. You play Zangief. Are you thinking about other than Mortal Kombat 11? Who are you thinking about maining in MK?
um, Raiden. I feel like I had another character they announced,
All
but
right, so
most likely it would be
you want to
Prodigy.
ride the lightning. You want to be in on
Yeah,
that.
yeah, definitely,
All
definitely.
right. All right.
Raiden,
I can respect that.
maybe Kodokan too if he's in it.
Okay.
Yeah,
So Hypnotiik, obviously,
yeah.
if usually here the last little bit, if you have anyone you want to shout out, anything you want to plug, this is the spot to do it. Get it, my man.
You got 5 minutes.
I guess shout out to Lucky D and Traveling Controller for what they do for the Boston scene. You know, they brought me out there. I know Lucky D. He drove me out to ECT and I think another event I forgot. But yeah, he always has space. Shout outs to I guess the Boston scene for you. Those of you who come out to DBZ, keep coming out, or if you're listening, please come out more. Shout out to the SF5 scene. My boy KO Poet over there. I know he be doing things. He's trying to grind and get his name out. Um, Shout out to my stream. I guess I stream that I'm Hypnotiik, even though I don't even or Hypnotiik, my name right here. Even though I haven't been streaming lately. Um, yeah. Shout out to Hood Gang God too, because he's one of the like I guess pioneers in my career, quote unquote. He's the one who got my name out there. I guess from playing him on stream. His fan base is kind of attached to mine. So I guess shout outs to him. Shout out to you guys for bringing me on this little podcast thing under the radar. So yeah, thank you for that.
No problem.
And yeah,
Absolutely, my man.
100%. Listen, we Piccolo gang at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
You're all Piccolo gang in here.
Mhm.
That is.
All
That
right.
is
Well, on that note, that is going to be it for me. I have been JDiesel,
I have been FloKey.
and
Right.
Hypnotiik. It's up to you. You
I,
got you got this. You got this. It's all right.
I guess, and it's been Hypnotiik. I guess I'm not new. I'm new to this.
Nah, it's all good, man.
It's all good.
And you know what, guys? This has been Under the Radar. Peace out, guys.